Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's my birthday. Let's do that beautiful makeup and make a wish. If you can't sparkle on your birthday, when can you? Today I'm creating a birthday makeup look that feels extra special, camera ready, and survives from brunch to midnight cake. If you have ever woke up on your birthday, cried happy tears in the morning, and ended up with puffy, red extra hooded eyes, let me know I'm not alone, because that's me today. Yes, my creases are so low, they are practically hiding my lid space completely. Happy birthday to me. Thank you for being here, and let's start. Let's pin the hair back so we can actually see what we are doing. I am starting with prepping the skin under my eyes. They are pretty dry after the morning's little birthday cry session, and I'm using a mask that works in just 3 minutes. But it's doing the main job, moisturizing without leaving a wet, sticky surface. It fills in all those teeny gaps and fine lines, and you will really see the difference, especially the next morning. And this is the Laneige Eye Sleeping Mask. It's technically meant for overnight, but I love it as a quick prep before makeup too, as for an emergency situation too. Now let's talk about face base. Usually primers are meant to solve one main problem, but the one I'm using today feels like it solves all of them. And this is the Hourglass primer. See that magic? It's not silicone based, so your skin can still breathe, especially if you are living in the hot climate. Don't be scared by the white color. It disappears completely once applied and absorbs right in. And result, healthy looking skin with a soft, blurred finish, no heavy texture, no weird yellow undertone, just your skin but better. And here's a little unexpected bonus. As the hydration and prep are keen, my hooded eyes are already looking a touch more open. That's why I always start with the skin prep before eye makeup. It changes the whole canvas. For foundation, I'm keeping things true to me. I don't want to look like a completely different person today. I want the skin to look natural, not masked. And I'm using a flat foundation brush to glide the product down in thin, layered strokes, not dabbing like we usually do with a big fluffy blending brush, but building slowly. That way the skin looks even and fresh without losing its texture. Today I'm going to use Armani Luminous Silk in shade 4.5 with a matte finish. It's long wear, photo-friendly, and completely weightless. This is one of those foundations that gives you coverage without looking like you have a foundation on. Quick reminder, my body has a natural tan right now, but my face is much lighter, so I go for a slightly deeper shade to even everything out. And you don't want a floating white face in your birthday photos. Trust me, been there. As I told you before, I'm applying this with a flat foundation brush, gliding down the skin in thin layers, instead of buffing it in with a fluffy brush. Why? Because sliding it down in layers gives that second skin effect, and you can control coverage without accidentally building up too much texture. You will see how fresh it looks even in close-up shots later. Next, concealer. And since I used that under eye mask earlier, my skin here is already smooth and hydrated. I'm going in with the Armani Luminous Silk Concealer, same shade as the foundation for a seamless blend. Let's talk about those bright white Hollywood triangles under the eyes. Everyone says they leave the face, but honestly they just throw light onto the center of the face, which can be beautiful on camera when you are looking straight ahead, but the second you turn your head, the magic disappears, and in person it can look like, like makeup. Instead, my idea is simple. Focus the concealer of the same shade as your foundation, where your makeup is most likely to fade. For me, that's at the center of my face. That's where my pores are concentrated, and by the time I'm at my birthday cake, they are already eating my makeup, so I give that area a little extra attention without building up too much foundation. Here's where the hack comes in, and you might be surprised by this. I use my favorite eye primer, and not just on my lids. This formula grips makeup like nothing else. I hate applying primer with a brush, so I use my fingertip for a smoother, more controlled layer. First, I cover my oily lids, of course, yes, which if you have hooded eyes like me is non-negotiable. Then with the leftover product, I tap a thin layer under the eyes, right in that triangle area. The result: subtle brightness without that stage makeup effect, plus locked-in coverage in the center of my face, and this keeps everything in place from morning to midnight cake. And even if I'm laughing, crying, or both. A few days ago, I bought this pencil because of so many of you recommended it to me, saying it's long-lasting, and wow, you weren't exaggerating. It really is. And I picked the brown shade because I am low contrast person, and the darkest thing on my face is my pupils. I apply some to the back of my hand, add a little concealer, mix them together, and I've basically created my own custom sculpturing cream or creamy eyeshadows. First up, the sides of my nose. Sculpturing here immediately makes the proportions of the face feel more balanced. And here's the beauty of it. It pulls attention straight to the eyes, creates the illusion of more space without looking heavy or overdone. If you have hooded eyes, this is going to be your new best friend. Skip the thick, heavy line. Actually, tightlining instantly makes your lash line look fuller and more lifted without covering any of that visible lid. To do, gently notch your upper lid upward, tilt your head slightly, and use small short strokes along the waterline. And pose to blink so your eyes stay comfortable, not crying. And here's the trick: don't stare straight into the mirror. Angle your head so you can work right near the pupil. And this naturally keeps the pencil close to the lash roots. For hooded lids, I always recommend keeping eyeliners soft and blended rather than sharp, heavy lines. It keeps the eyes open and fresh. Today, I'm using a very basic, very versatile eyeshadow palette. I've got a light satin shade, a mid-tone satin, a deep matte brown, and a sheer sparkle topper. First, I'm taking the satin light shade to smooth and brighten the lids. This texture softens any creases or unevenness, which is perfect for textured skin. I'm applying generously with a flat brush, but if you want more impact, use your fingertip. It will give you a richer payoff. Then I pop a little into the inner corners to brighten and take away that grayish cast that can show up from under eyeshadows. Without changing brushes, I pick up the mid-tone shade. I'm holding the brush perpendicular, not flat, and the bristles edge with the shadow is facing upward toward my low lash line, and the clean side is pointing down toward my under eye area. This lets me softly define the lash line without smudging shadow everywhere. I keeping it very diffused because I want a softer look today. A quick tip: squeeze your eyes just slightly and find the very outer corners, and that's your natural stopping point. Blend to the end stop. It keeps the shape lifted and avoid that overdone look that can fight against your natural eye shape. With the same brush, I'm dipping into the dark matte brown, and this part is important. A matte shade creates the illusion of depth without adding any sparkle, which is perfect for sculpturing hooded eyes. Gently hold the skin near your temple for subtlety, but don't pull or stretch it. We are just keeping the area steady. Starting at the outer corner, and make small, quick horizontal strokes, working inward only about 1/3 of the way crossing the lid. With a clean fingertip, gently tidy up the shape, and I am following the low lash line upward to create a soft lift. And this is my version of a delicate subtle eyeliner. For a bit more definition, I'll add just a touch more dark brown right at the lash roots, and that's it. If you want it sharper, take a small synthetic brush, pinch it with a little leftover concealer, and use it to cut the lower edge. Now for the fun part: sparkle. Using my fingertip, I pick up a small amount of shimmer shadow. Look how shiny that is. And I'm applying it only on the mobile lids, tapping before the hooded folds begins. If you put shimmer on the hooded part, it will catch the light in a way that makes the lid look heavier. By keeping it inside the crease area, when you blink, you will create the illusion of brighter, more openly. Curling your eyelashes is the most effective way to instantly lift the eyes. When we curl, we are removing the shadow cast from naturally straight lashes, and that makes the whole eye look brighter and more open. I'm using my all-time favorite lash curler for hooded eyes, the one from Shiseido, and it grabs every single lash and gives the perfect curl, not too rounded, not too straight, just right for our eye shape. Start at the very roots. Press gently at first to make sure you are not pinching your skin, then squeeze firmly. Move to the middle of the lashes and curl again. The wand works beautifully for me, but here's the detail I really appreciate: the triangle shape of the cap. It gives such a secure grip. I've always wondered why brands focus so much on the brush bristles, but forget about the handle. And those slippery round caps, they are always flying out of my hands and onto the floor. And I'm using one of the most wanted lip serum right now. This shade is gorgeous on warm, neutral, cool, and olive undertones. It's non-sticky, glides on easily. I reapply every 2 hours, but I actually love the process, especially with that soft silicone sponge applicator. So satisfying. Okay, let's move on to the blush. This blush has a hybrid formula. It goes on creamy, then dries down to a natural matte finish. Perfect for beginners because you can blend it out with just your fingertips. The shade works beautifully on all skin undertones. Check the description box for details about that shade. The best part, it makes my eyes look greener. If you prefer, you can use a brush, but honestly, it blends like a dream with just fingers. Blush is your birthday best friend. It makes you look youthful. I'm using that beautiful shade to complement my outfit, so sometimes I wonder if I have blush blindness. Today I decided to add a little bit more. Maybe it's because I'm a low contrast person and I just wanted extra color on my face, I don't know. I'm using the Hourglass Volume 1 palette. The secret to this highlighter isn't just applying it, it's blending and polishing it into the skin. Take a big blending brush and buff it in. Look at that glow. This baked powder has the most beautiful texture. Next, I'm taking the mid-tone shade from the palette, and it's actually a sculpting powder. Even though it looks light in the pan, I know, trust me, it's not going to give you those harsh orange strokes. It's your natural cheek shadow. I apply it to my temples also because of my face shape. If you don't need it there, skip this step. I also love using the leftover product on a big brush to softly blend my eyeshadow edges into the skin. It creates such a seamless transition. I add a little bit more to the upper brow line without stealing space from the lids, and then fill in any gaps. Tilt your head slightly so you can check the forehead space and make sure the shape works for your face. And of course, brush them through for a natural finish. And here's the finished birthday glam, fresh, glowing, and totally celebration ready. Let me know in the comments what your dream birthday makeup is, and if you recreate this look, tag me so I can see it. Now, excuse me, I've got a cake to cut. Thank you so much for being here that day, and I'm very happy to have you here. Have a good weekend. See you in the next one. Bye.